Yes, sir.
Okay, sharing the presentations, it will be visible for you in few minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be dealing with the second chapter of International Finance under the perspectives of MBA curriculum syllabus. This particular second chapter is titled or named as Foreign Exchange Markets and Rates. So in this particular chapter, we'll be dealing with the foreign exchange rates, different exchange market structure, the composition and the types of transactions, what is meant by settlement date, the exchange rate quotations, the arbitrage, interest rate parity, purchasing power parity, and Fisher's parity approach. Then the concept of forecasting exchange, how to forecast the exchange rate with respect to the efficient market approach, fundamental approach, technical approach, and the global financial markets and its relation with the interest rates. Then the concepts and types of currencies, the convertibility of currency, the exchange rate with respect to the nature, types and regimes in the exchange rate, and lastly, the demand and supply of foreign currency. So understanding the foreign exchange and markets, first we need to know what is in foreign exchange. So basic understanding of foreign exchange, the clear information you can get with this meaning. The exchange of one country's currency for a currency of another country is called as a foreign exchange. In simple terms, whenever you are exchanging the currency of two countries, then that particular foreign exchange is termed as a foreign exchange or a forex market. The foreign exchange market is a place where these currencies are traded. So the place or platform or the medium or mode through which you are exchanging these currencies is called as a foreign exchange market. So a market where, for example, when we say a general market or a local market, there where we actually purchase and sell the goods and services. So that particular market is called as a general market. Now, in terms of your currencies, wherever a place where you exchange your foreign currencies of two countries. Now, specifically, every country is having its own currency, and a place where you are exchanging these two currencies is called as a foreign exchange market. Introduction. In finance, an exchange rate between two currency is the rate at which one currency will be exchanged for another. So, at the two countries are exchanging their two currencies, the two individuals are exchanging their currencies, and the rate at which one currency is exchanged for another is called as an exchange. An exchange rate is also known as a foreign exchange rate because or a forex rate or a rate between two currency is the rate at which one currency will be exchanged for another. It is also regarded as the value of one country's one currency is in terms of another currency. Another currency. You can see an example, an interbank exchange rate of 91 Japanese yen, that is JPY yen to the United States dollar, that is USD, means that the yen 91 will be exchanged for US dollar 1, or that US dollar 1 will be exchanged for each Japanese yen 91. So what in this particular example, what you can see, every country has a certain denomination of its own, it has a certain symbol of its own, and it has a certain value of its own. So the currency of Japan is called as Japanese yen, which is now the Japanese is designed or quoted as JPY, whereas yen denominates Y and two parallel lines at the below. Same way, in terms of United States dollar, it's their currency is dollar, so it is termed as USD, that is United States dollar, and it has been termed or coined as US dollar with a symbol, for example, S and a continuous sign of a dollar in that you can see clearly. So here what we can see, the exchange rate is given. So 91 yen will be exchanged for 1 USD, or 1 US dollar one will be exchanged for Japanese yen 91. Now, quoting and termination of every currency is different for different currencies. So for currency of USD, we say US dollar 1. That is the value or denomination or quote gets later on. But in terms of Japanese, it happens earlier. That is, you say Japanese yen 91. In this way, the quotation is either or the salutation is either put forward or put backward. That is at the first or the beginning or at the latter stage at the end. The exchange rates are determined in the foreign exchange market, which is open to a wider range of buyers and sellers where currency trading is continuous. So in the foreign exchange market, what happened? The trading of currencies, the buying of and exchange of currencies, the selling of currencies is a continuous and ongoing process. So there are several number of buyers and sellers who frequently come purchase, sell those type of and different types of currencies in the foreign exchange market. The spot exchange rate refers to the current exchange rate. So The spot exchange rate is that particular rate wherein at this particular point of time, that is at this certain moment, at this specific moment, the point at which you are ready to exchange your goods and services or you exchange your currency will be called as a spot market. The forward exchange rate refers to an exchange rate that is quoted and traded today, but for delivery and payment on a certain specific future date. So forward exchange market. Now there are two types of markets here. You can see first thing is the spot exchange market and second is the forward exchange market. Forward spot exchange market, that is as on today, just now. The forward exchange market is that particular perspectives wherein you are trying to deal with transaction, you are entering into a currency transaction wherein the purchase and sale of those particular currencies will be at a certain future date, but not as on today. So if you are trading and quoting this particular price as on a certain future date, then that for particular currency, the delivery will be also on a certain future date. The rate that will be decided will be of today, and the transaction will be completed at a certain future date. So that is an example of forward exchange rate. Now, coming with the historical origin of currency. So earlier currency, that is, there was two basic denomination, that is the currency before the 2000 era, 2000 before Christ, and the currency after the 2000 era, that is 2000 BC, which represent gains from in the temple granaries in summer and in ancient Mesopotamia, then ancient Egypt. So evolution of currency dates back from Egypt, wherein the different people or habitat was been found out, and they started use of the currency's perspective. Then came the scenario or the age of coinage. These factors led to the metal itself being the store of value. First silver, then both the silver and the gold, and at one point also bronze. Now we have copper coins and other non-precious metals as coins. So in the initial stage or the when in the coinage stage, what happened? The currencies were traded of silver and gold. So these particular coins was being prepared, and the goods and services, if you want to exchange the currency, then it was in terms of denomination of coins. These particular coins was having the respective marks or the imprint of its own currency, that is the name of the particular state or the name of their rajas and maharajas, the kings who were ruling at that particular period or era. Later, after a point of time, when the bronze and silver was on a limited scale, what happened? The people have designed the bronze coins also. So bronze coins was into picture and was into use. But now, today, we have even copper coins into existence later on after a certain stage. And today we use the steel coins also, the metallic steel, the stainless steel, and so on. So coins age is still into existence, and we are using different types of coins which are into existence. That is a coin of 25 paise, 50 paise, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 5 rupee, 10 rupee, and so on. So you must have seen different coins which are in use or which are used in customs of trade as on today also. Then came the third stage or third scenario of paper currency. It began as a measure for the merchants to the exports to exchange heavy coinage for the receipts of deposits and a promissory note by the wholesale shop. So what happened due to the drawback of coinage currency, the heavy exchange of coinage was not possible. Why it was not possible? Because in order, if you want to give 1000 rupees or 1 crore rupees or 10 lakhs of rupees, then a certain value was not made available, or certain coins was not made available, and it was having a certain heavy weights of its own. So for this particular concern, and in order to reduce the deposits perspective, in order to rely the depository perspectives, what happened? The paper currency came into picture, and a new currency was been designed, and people started to use the currency in form of paper. Then came the modern currency. Modern currency is that particular currency wherein it is based on the concept of lex monte, that is a sovereign state decides which currency it shall use. The ISO, that is International Standards Organization, has specifically given a certain term codes. So letter system of codes for different currencies, and they decide what a country's currency will be called. The currency of a particular country is decided by the country itself, and you have a certain feasibility and option of deciding the denomination, size, and valuation of your own currency. But depending on the market conditions, terms and conditions, depending on the demand and supply, your valuation of currency, your demand for currency, and your other perspectives keeps on changing again and again. Another perspectives, in general, the three-letter code uses the ISO 3116, that is one country code for the first two letters and the first letter of the name of the currency. So in this way, a certain code words has also been provided for use of these particular currencies also. The example there you can see is USD, wherein it stands for United States dollar, wherein the first two letters, that is US, stands for the United States, that is a specific country, and D stands for the currency, that is dollar currency. In the same fashion, we have of India, that is INR, which is called as an Indian National Rupee. Now here you can see the different types of currencies of different countries. First, you can see the US dollar, that is USD, the European Union's currency, that is Euro, EURO, that is European Union, the Japanese yen, a format and a specific of a note of a Japanese yen. Then you can see UK, that is UK pound, that is Bank of England, and lastly the Australian dollar. So it is now make sure at this point of time that US dollar and Australian dollar are completely different. Again, there is a certain perspective called as Singaporean dollar also. Singapore has its own currency that is called as in dollar. Australia also has its own currency called as in dollar, and US also has its own currency called as dollar. The term, the denomination, the value, the sign, the symbol, the formation, the design of each and every currency of US dollar, Australian dollar, Singapore dollar is completely different. There is no similarity at this perspective or the concern. Now coming with the Indian perspective, that is the Indian rupee. The Indian rupee is the official currency of the Republic of India, which was adopted from 26th of January 1950.
Sir,
Wherein after, huh?
sir, the price of Australian dollar and US dollar are different or same?
It is completely different. Now, for example, now when I'll just quote the example, if now we are dealing with US dollar and Indian rupee. So if I say that the US dollar is has a certain price of 73 or 74, so in comparison to the Australian dollar, the price is also different. Australian dollar may be 45 or 46, and Singaporean dollar may be 34 or 35 accordingly.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now going further with the Indian rupee. The Indian rupee is the official currency adopted by the Indian Constitution on 26th of February 1950. The first series of coin with the rupee symbol was launched on 8 July 2011, wherein we have specifically mentioned or coined or imprinted the term rupee on a particular symbol. The Indian rupee sign is specifically INR. Now, as I gave you earlier quotation, that is first two letters will be your currency, that is it will be your name of the country. So that the first two names we can see IN, which means Indian national. So here what India has adopted, India has adopted certain two terminologies that is called as IN, that is Indian national, and the the third or the fourth coin terminology must be, or the component must be your currency. So currency of India being rupee, we have termed it or coined as INR, Indian rupee, that is the currency sign. The official currency of India, designed by D. Uday Kumar. It was presented to the public by the Government of India on 15th of July 2020. Before its adoption, the mostly common use symbols for the rupee was RS, RE, or whatever it may be. So people used to use different types of connotations or symbols or abbreviations for their respective purpose. But D. Uday Kumar has represented a certain sign, and now Indian rupee, as you can see, the dollar currency, euro, yen, everyone is having its own sign. The Indian rupee is also having its own rupee currency denomination or a sign. Here you can see in the next slide the terminology of your rupee, origin of the rupee symbol. So on 5th March 2009, the Indian government announced a contest to create a sign for the Indian rupee. During this, so 2010, the Union Budget Finance Minister Mr. Pranab Mukherjee said that the proposed sign should reflect and capture the Indian ethos and cultures. So the new sign is a combination of Devanagari letters. So you need to understand what is the meaning or understanding of your rupee symbol. So please mark this very carefully and understand. So letter Ra, the letter and the Latin capital R without its vertical bar, similar to the R rotunda. So we have adopted this particular concept from the Devanagari, that is our Sanskrit perspectives, that is Ra for the different ragas and the vertical two parallel lines wherein our economy is going at a very faster rate, and R without its vertical bar. So at this point of time, we can see R, that is R its terms for rupee, and in this way, the different rupee has been designed and that particular sound has been connotation has been set. Uses major banks has also started printing checks with the new Indian rupee sign, wherein the traditional RS is also been abolished and the rupee sign is been imprinted or implanted on this. In the Union Budget of the 20th February 2011, the Finance Minister, again Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, has announced that the sign will be incorporated in future on coins also. So on the different coins also, that is coin of 25 paise, 50 paise, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 5 rupee, 10 rupee, the rupee symbol of RS is reproduced or represented from rupee sign that is adopted globally. Now, Here, that now comes the picture of your comparison. Now, when companies conduct business across borders, they must deal in different foreign currencies. So, company must exchange different foreign countries with their home currency, and it should adopt and make a certain use for payments and receivables for vice versa transactions. So, if you want to pay something, if you want to receive something, then different options are made available for you, and you can use and exchange these particular transactions of goods and services and foreign exchange transactions also. The need for the exchange of currency is the primary reason why the forex market is the largest, most liquid and financial market in the world. Why? Because we are transferring, we are roaming from one place to another place. We are transferring from one place to another place. We are going for traveling perspectives. We are going for a business perspectives. And when we enter some another country or some another region or some another boundary, we need the term or we need the denomination in order to spend a certain sum of money. So at this point of time, what we see, there is a continuous and ongoing need of this particular currency. So what does the government do? The government keeps regularly printing this particular currency so that it is in proper circulation and it is being supplied across the globe. It dwarfs other markets in size, even the stock market in terms of volume. So in terms of volume also, the foreign exchange market, that is proper currency or paper currency market, is ruling the entire world market or entire globe. So unless and until the paper currency is into existence, the market is going to flourish very effectively and very efficiently. So there is a greater importance of rupee currency in general perspective. So this is the time, or this is the valuation in which you can see the amount of currency is been into circulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 zeros on 3. So around 3 crore billion, whatever it may be. So that particular valuation is the amount of currency that is into circulation in the world market or the international market or in the foreign exchange market. So here, this is the count that you can see. It's really mind blowing. That is, the entire circulation of currency is into existence or into picture. Now getting inside the different numbers. So the average daily currency trading volume exceeds $3 trillion per day. So per day, $3 trillion currency has been traded. Now trade in the sense exchange between the members, exchange between the individual, exchange between the banks, exchange between the countries, and so on. So daily, day in and day out, this amount of currency is being exchanged between the member countries and member nations. Mostly what happens, what we see at this particular point of time, dollar being the international currency, the most of the times dollar has been denominated and mostly traded currency across the world. Now, what's the situation in the current perspectives? You will come to know in the further slides. To give you some perspectives on that side, it's about 10 to 1050 is the daily trading volume on all world stock markets that is combined. So in terms of the stock market that is into existence, the currency or the paper currency or the foreign exchange market is traded at a very highest scale. Why? Because people are transferring from one place to another place. People are moving from one place to another place. The goods and services transactions are being traded. The export and import transactions are taking place. So whenever a particular goods and service transactions takes place, for every transaction, for every single activity, there is involvement of currency. There is involvement of value. There is involvement of a certain proposition. And that particular proposition, that particular value is in terms of currency only. So currency, that is foreign exchange market, is a wider perspective. Now, another perspective, it is called as a foreign exchange or currency market is always a 24-hour market. The rates of this particular foreign currency keeps on fluctuating, keeps on rotating, keeps on changing every minute, every hour, every second. So 24/7, it is only the first market and the single market in world in the globe that keeps on going again and again, and round the clock, the market keeps on going. So if at any point of time, for example, if it is here today, it's 3 p.m., it may be some another time in US, it may be some another time in UAE, it may be some another time in Japan, it may be some another time in Australia, some different time in South Africa, and so on. So depending on the cycle, depending on the sunrise and sunset, what happened, this amount of money keeps on circulating. The people migrate from one place to another, people transfer from one place to another, and due to this concern, what happened, it is called as a 24-hour market. Now, for example, what is the major mode or medium? The major mode or medium is through the terms of banks and the financial institutions and the airports authorities. So this particular foreign exchange is been mostly traded in terms of banks and in terms of foreign international airports. So if a particular person is going outside India, or if it is coming into India, what happens? He will either need the outside, that is the foreign exchange currency, or if a particular person is coming into India, he will require the Indian rupee currency. So due to this concern, now the concern of international airport, we cannot stop the international airport at any point of time, and the airport is always open 24/7. So every minute, every second, the flight comes in and the flight departs away. So due to this concern, what happened? There is continuous flow of passengers within the country and outside the country. So due to this concern, what happened? There is ongoing requirement of fund, that is the foreign exchange, at these particular locations. It is a 24-hour market. So the market is open for 24 hours a day and 5.5 days a week. So currencies are traded worldwide in the major financial centers of London, New York, Tokyo, Zurich, Frankfurt, Hong Kong, Singapore, Paris, and Sydney. That is almost at every time zone. So every country, every member nation, every place has its different time zone. So London is having a different time zone, New York a different time zone, Tokyo, Zurich, Frankfurt. Can someone tell me under which time zone do we come? Any idea? Any one of you? What do you think? Okay, this means that when the trading day is in US ends, the forex exchange markets in Tokyo begins and Hong Kong. So as such, when we can see, depending on the time factors, depending on the time constraint, the market keeps on circulating, the market keeps on rotating, and the people of this particular country or trade currencies or the foreign exchange international players can keeps on rotating again, and the market keeps on going 24/7. The trading time in India for foreign exchange, that is forex market, is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So 9 a.m. your market starts and by 5 p.m. your market ends. Now, if you want to conduct the transaction after 5 p.m., then what you have to do, you have to approach different market perspective. And that particular market may be whichever it is available, that is of either London or New York or Tokyo or Zurich or Hong Kong or Paris or Sydney. And you have to reach to the respective time zone, and your transaction can be traded and your activity can be completed. So here you can see the different time zones available for different locations. So now these particular transactions or the time zone has been decided as per the international standard time zone. So international standard time zone, that is New York market opens at 6:30 p.m. The international standard time zone of London market opens at 12:30 p.m. The Frankfurt market opens at 10:30 a.m. The Indian market opens at 9:30 a.m. The Tokyo market opens at 6:30 a.m. and the Sydney market opens at 5:30 p.m. So depending on the sunrise, that is day in and day out, your transaction or your time differs again and again. So depending on the different time zones, depending on the different perspectives, your currency, your valuation, your differentiation is differing at every point of time. So hence it is called as, it is always 24-hour market, and it is always an ongoing position. The requirement of currency day in and day out is at a very higher scale, at a very larger scale, and the proper demand of and supply of currency is been matched properly. So with this, we today conclude and come at the end of the lecture. We'll continue with the further lecture tomorrow. I'll share the attendance with all of you.